Alright, equation of the circle needs to look like this when we get done. The h and the k, positive here or negative inside, so we're going to change the signs on that every time. If I'm looking at this, what is that point? 0, 0, the origin. I want to go back to that point. From here, I would have to go down, which is negative, and left, which is negative. So that's kind of where those come from. Goes back to just being a squared plus b squared equals c squared for the right triangle. Right. If it tells me the center and the radius, I should be able to write the equation very easily. Now this is just the basic. You take the center, change the signs, and plug it into the equation. So x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Make sure that you understand that part has to be r squared. It's not just r. People mess that up all the time. All right, tell me what to do with the second one there. But now, what is x minus 0? It's just x. So this is really x squared. Y minus 0 is y. What you need to get out of this second one is if you see zeros, that's just going to be x squared and or y squared. Whichever one has a 0 is going to just be x squared or y squared. All right, if I come to the third one.
X minus 2
Change the sign. So that's x minus 2.
Plus y plus 3 squared equals r squared.
Well, in this case, r is
4 squared.
4, so that's going to be 4 squared. Go ahead and work that out. And get 16. The bottom one, I would do
X plus 5 squared plus y minus 6 squared equals root 3 squared.
we should remember what happens with root 3 squared.
It just changes to 3.
Alright, so the equations for these would be x plus 3 squared, y minus 6 squared, and then 9. We know the radius is 3 here, so that would be the 3 squared. X plus 2 squared, y minus 3 squared equals 10, because what I'm really doing is that. And then this one would be just x squared, y minus 4 squared, and 9. And I'll do the 3 squared part. Any questions on that? All right. If I'm looking at graphing these, I need to have two things. Center, radius. Can I get that from the equation?
Yes.
Yes. What is the center on that one?
-2, 3.
I disagree.
I mean 2, -3.
All right, 2, -3. All right, so my center, remember, I've got to change it and be the opposite of whatever's in the equation. So I'm going to put that on the graph, 2, -3. The radius, what is the radius?
4.
That's what everybody says.
What was 2? It's 2.
Everybody's wrong. It's the square root of 4, because this number is really r squared. So I've got to square root that every time to find the radius. Well, all you've got to do is take the radius, go from that center point, up to, right to, down to, left to. There's your circle.
I got a square.
Well, we don't need to draw it like this. We're not connecting the points. We're drawing a circle.
I didn't get that either.
All right, so for the second one here, what is my center?
-1, 0.
-1, 0. Radius is
3.
square root of 9, which is 3. So I go to -1, 0, put my point. I go up 3 from there, right 3, down 3, left 3. There's your circle. All right. Look at this one over here. And let's pretend that this is a 5. Center is still going to be the same. negative 1, 0. And the radius, in this case, is square root of 5, which is, if you do it on the calculator, it's like 2.2. All right? So, when I start graphing, I'm going to do my negative 1, 0. But I'm going to go up 2.2. Well, I can't be exact with that, but I know it's above that line. So that's all I'm going to look for when you have it. This is 2, so I'm going to go a little bit more. Down 2, a little bit more. Left 2, a little bit more. So that's what I would be looking for if it's something like that. If it was 2.9, well, then make it closer to the 3 line. That's all I'm checking. All right. Copy those down for me. All right. What we're trying to do on these is get it from this version to that version. All right. In order to do that, first thing, x squared and y squared have to be positive. Nothing else has to be positive, but x squared and y squared do. So I would take these and move them over. I'm doing the long version of this. Hopefully we can shorten this down. Is everybody okay with that?
I don't have to do it.
You can move it to the other side and change the sign.
Okay.
X squared goes across, becomes positive. Y squared goes across, becomes
Could you
positive.
just like,
Right. I want the number to be away from the x squared and the y squared. Be on the opposite side. So this 16 has to go across. There's your equation. What's the center?
6,
0,
0, 0,
Radius?
4. So you just get that and then you just.
Well,
write-
that's the easy version. Huh? That's the basic. Tell you what, do this right here. Do that one in the middle right there. For this one, I need the y squared to move and become positive. So x squared plus y squared minus 25 equals 0. Get that 25 across. There's my equation. Center is, and the radius is 5.
Oh, wow, I got it right.
All right. This last one over here is not like those. When you have just an x number and just a y number, more complicated, more involved. Start the same way. I want x squared and y squared to be positive and on the same side. So that means this has to move. Always put the x squared first. So x squared goes first, and then the x number goes behind it. Then the y squared, then the y, and then the number.
Probably the worst thing we've done.
Get rid of the number by moving it to the other side. I've got the x squared and the x together, the y squared and the y together, numbers on the opposite side. Again, I'm trying to get it so that it looks like that. The only way I can do that is if these three together form a perfect square trinomial, which I know we don't know, but I'm going to show you the shortened version of how to get there. Take that 6 and divide by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 squared is 9, so put a 9 in there. Go to the second one. That's negative 4. Negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2. Negative 2 squared is
4.
positive 4. If I add a 9 and a 4 on the left, I've got to add a 9 and a 4 on the right to balance it out. Now, the whole reason for doing that 9 and that 4 right there was so that I could break it down and make it look like those. This would be x plus 3 squared. But what, because what is 3 times 3?
9.
9. What is 3 plus 3? 6. There's my numbers. The second one's going to be y minus 2. Same deal. What is negative 2 times negative 2? 4. What is negative 2 plus negative 2? Negative 4. Add up all the stuff on the right, you get 49. Well, there's my equation.
My dog.
What is the center?
Negative 3, negative 32.
Radius?
7.
Again, now, this 3 comes from the 9 and the 6. It's positive because that 6 is positive. This negative 2 comes from the negative 4 when you divide by 2, but it's going to be negative because it's got to match that. Now, let's look at this one.
So this is the back of one of my math.
All right, so if I'm here, I've got a plus the 11. What goes behind that 6?
A 9.
6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 squared is 9. Y squared minus 8y.
14.
16.
8 divided by 2 is 4. 4 squared is 16. So I have 11 over here. I have to add the 9 and add the 16 that I put in on that side. The first 3 break down as x plus 3 squared. Those 3 break down as y minus 4 squared equals 36. There's my equation. Center, negative 3, positive 4. Radius equals square root of 36, which is 6. What needs to move on the first one?
Negative y squared.
So I'm going to do plus y squared on both sides. Match up. The x squared and the x go together. The y squared goes next. There is no y number. And then this plain number goes by itself. Move that plain number across. Eight is in the middle. So what's going to go here? Add it to the left side, add it to the right side. Y squared does not have a y number behind it. So leave it alone.
I tried to add a number and I got a decimal.
That becomes x plus 4 squared.
This one is
That becomes y squared. That becomes 18. There's my equation. Center, negative 4 is 0. Radius is square root of 18. If you do the decimal version, it'll be 4.2.
I always mess up on the signs like x plus 4. It's like I divide 8 by
It's,
2.
here, it's going to match.
Okay.
When you take it out and find the center, then it changes.
Okay.
The second one over here, I've got to move both of these over. So I'm going to do plus y squared and plus 10y at the same time. So x squared minus 6x plus y squared plus 10y plus 3 equals 0. Minus the 3. So now I have x squared minus 6x, and I'm going to have to add there. Y squared plus 10y, got to add there, equals 3. If 6 is the one with the x, what goes in that spot? 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 squared is 9. Well, add that on the other side. 10 is in the middle. What goes at the end?
25.
10 divided by 2 is 5. 5 squared is 25. Add that on the other side. Those 3 become x minus 3 squared. Those 3, y plus 5 squared. All of that adds up to be,
37.
31.
should be a negative 3 right there, so it should be 31. There's my equation. Center would be 3, negative 5.
Wait, because you have 6.
Radius is square root of 31, 5.5 or 6. They may have it as square root of 31 on the LCD.